Hello, welcome to episode 217 of the Datapack tutorial series version 1.2.1.8, and this will work in earlier versions as well. Probably as earlier back as components were introduced. When was that? 1.20.5? I'll leave that up to you to experiment. We're going to make an item vacuum. What do I mean? Where did I see it? I saw this, it was a question on MC Discord, or Minecraft Commands Discord, and Noxon gave the answer. I was on my phone, so I had a quick read through. I thought, that's pretty cool, I like it, let's recreate it. So some of the commands might be a bit different, but I'm going to give credit to Noxon. Okay, so I have here, it's an emerald, but if I do a data get on it, you can see it's got the custom data vacuum true, or vacuum 1B. And if I'm holding it in my hand or my offhand, either is fine. Let's throw some items. There we go. No. Yum, 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 yum. Okay, or I can hold it in my offhand. Well, they're coming straight back to me, aren't they? Yeah, there we go. Okay, but we can also do the same with an armour stand. So what it's doing is it's checking for a player or an armour stand that is holding the vacuum item. I haven't renamed it or anything, but just the custom data is the only important thing. But that means we could have a hopper, and on the hopper, I've got a function for this. Let's just do summon. We'll look at all the commands. There we go. So I summoned him because I wanted to give him arms. And here we go. You can have one of those gems. And now what I can do is I can throw the items. And they'll all slowly make their way over to him. Oh, you bounced off. You going to go in? There we go. And the hopper is collecting them. So by having the armour stand holding the vacuum item, we can pull stuff into a hopper, which I thought is pretty cool. That wasn't my idea. That was from Noxon. So let's make it. Now, if I do a reload, I believe everything is going to break because I've emptied the data pack. So let's throw some of those on the floor, and yeah, nothing's happening. Okay, let's get rid of this emerald. We'll keep the junk, and let's pop over to the data pack. So we've got a couple of admin commands: give and summon. Give myself the vacuum item, the emerald, and summon the armor stand with some arms. Then we've got the vacuum. And we've got vacuum and vacuum item. We're going to use the tick. We won't use the load. And we've got tags entity type, and that's going to be a list of who are we going to check. Now, I suppose a villager could hold the emerald, but I don't know if they hold it in their weapon hand. So we're not going to worry about them. We're just going to do. In fact, let's start here. We're just going to do armor stands and players. So let's open up some square brackets. And let's do values. No. You should be curly brackets. It's the simple things. There we go. You're happier now, aren't you? And then we'll have some square brackets. Okay, and now we can put our values in here. Who or which entities will we check? Well, I'm going to check the Minecraft player. It's not the last in the list, so we'll have a comma. And I'm going to check the Minecraft armor stand. You are the last in the list. You shall not have a comma. Save. There we go. We've got a list of people or entities we're going to check. Bye-bye. Let's make a give command so we can do some testing. So I'm just going to give myself, or the executor of the command, an emerald. Let's use the namespace. Minecraft. Today, it does not seem to want to autofill. Yes, that's my connection for you. And we're going to be checking for Minecraft custom data. Well, we're not checking for, we're adding, sorry. Minecraft custom data equals, open and close some curlies, and we will say vacuum true. I think that's probably enough. Let's do the summon command while we're here. I'm going to... Actually, I want this... If I summon this armor stand, I want it to be centered on the block. I don't want it to just be where I'm standing. I want to center it on the block because that's going to make it easier to align with the hopper. So if I do execute align to the X and Z, and then I run summon. So execute to the X and Z, we're going to look for the smallest value. We are looking in positive Z, positive X, positive Z. Okay, so we would be executing here. So if I add 0.5 and add 0.5, we'll be executing right in the center there. That should be fine. So let's do that. So we'll run summon a Minecraft armor stand. That needs coordinates, but we'll say 0.5, 0.5. And I want it to have arms. Oh God, how do you do that? I think show arms. True. We'll try that. Let's test those two. Well, it's not snake case. I think that's still right. Let's test it. It's the easiest way, isn't it? Rather than just stare at it. We could look at some documents, but let's just test it. Let's pop down one of you. Let's do a function give. Okay, let's data check you to make sure you've got vacuum 1B, vacuum true, both the same. Okay, that seems good. Let's stand in here and do a function summon. Yeah, you aligned nicely. Okay, let's try one more time, but let's go right on the corner. I want to be in this block, but in the corner. Okay, I wasn't quite in the block, but we can see that it did certainly align to the center of the block I was in. Okay, and now I should just be able to right-click on you and give it to you. There we go. Cool. So you've got one, I've got one. You right there? You've got a tiny head, you have. You look like a Goomba from the old Mario movie. Right. Well, what do we need to do next? Well, we need to tick. So let's tick anyone or any entity who's holding the item. So we should execute as any entity. So we'll start with the type. Type equals hashtag. I think I could just copy the resource path. Okay, well you might not have that copy resource path option. I believe that is coming from not the Datapack utility. So it's one of the extensions. If you don't have that, it's coming from that extension there. So you can search for extensions and add that. If not, you can literally just type the name yourself. And if your autofill works, it will pull it out for you. Even better. My autofill's not working. So we're going to look for anyone who's in that list. So we're going to look for any player or any arm stand. And let's remove those. And what we're going to do, we're going to check their items. So we'll say if items entity at s weapon dot. Well, I wanted to work in the offhand as well. So we could say main hand. We could say main hand, or we could say offhand. But I'm going to say star. So I'm going to check if it's in their main hand or if it's in their offhand. And then I don't care what the item is, so I'm just going to say star again. But it must have Minecraft custom data tilde, not equals, tilde, vacuum true, or vacuum 1B, they're the same. If they do have that, then we will move the execution point to that entity, so we'll execute at them. Then we will run a function, or a functino. Yours will probably autofill here, and we will run the function vacuum. Okay, and for the moment, in vacuum, I'm just going to say hi. There we go. We'll say eh. We are the knights that say eh. Let's reload that. Well, he's probably going to start shouting, isn't he? Because he's holding. Yeah. Now, if I mouse over mine, that would become in main hand, and now we're both shouting. Okay, if I put it into my offhand, still fine. Okay, that's good. Let's just go back. We don't want to listen to little armor stand shouting at us. So we're going to tag the entity. So that's me or the armor stand, or the person holding the vacuum item. And the reason we're going to tag them is because we're going to run a function here, and we're going to use that tag in the function. So what we'll do is we'll tag at s, add, and we'll just call it vacuum. That'll do. And here we will do tag at s, remove vacuum. Now this is multiplayer safe, no problem with this, because it's going to process each player separately, one at a time. So it's going to, let's say there's me and Infernal Minion and we're both playing, it's going to come in from me, give me the tag, run the function, remove my tag. Then it's going to come back around for Infernal Minion, give Infernal Minion the tag, run the function, remove the tag from Infernal Minion. So this is multiplayer fine, no problem with this. Now, the reason why we're going to run another function is because I want to do two things to the item. So we could put both commands here, but then we're doing two @E checks. And that's literally doubling the amount of entities we're searching for. So let's not do that. Let's just find the entity. So we'll do execute as any entity, type equals item. We'll do a distance check, because remember we're running this function at the person holding the thing. So this will be the distance from them. Let's say 10. And we will run function vacuum item. Okay. So what I could have done is I could put one command here instead of running the function. And I could just have another one of these. And put another command here. But then instead of, doing one @E, we're doing two @E. So we're literally doubling it. As I said, let's not double it. Let's get rid of that. So we've grabbed the item. Is it within 10 blocks of the entity, the armor stand, or myself, or the player who is holding the vacuum item? If it is, let's run the function vacuum item as that item. Let's go into vacuum item. We'll move the item towards the entity. Okay, so we'll do execute. Well, we're already executing as the item, so we'll execute at the item as well, at S. And we'll do facing entity nearest entity whose type equals, and I want my tag list again there, whose tag equals the temporary tag we gave them. We gave them temporary tag vacuum. That's not how you spell vacuum. There we go. And we could go towards their eyes, in which case the items are going to fly towards their head. Now that's fine, but I think actually I'm going to go towards their feet, and that will be better for when the armor stand is standing in a hopper, because then the hopper can grab the items. Otherwise the items are going to be flying around the thing's head. So we'll do feet, and then we'll just run TP at S, the item, forwards a little bit. So what should we say, 0.1? Okay, now we're going to test this, but we've got another command to add, and I'll show you what that command is going to do. Well, you can see it's going to update the item's position. Because some things update, I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think some things will only update their position once every 4 or so ticks. But we can force it to update its position every tick. So let's go with what we've got at the moment. Okay, and let's do a reload. Hopefully you'll stop shouting at me then, I understand. Yeah, okay, let's give you some items. Well, that's interesting. Nothing's happening at all. Okay. Well, let's go back. Tick. Anyone? Well, we know that worked because you were shouting at us. Into vacuum. Add vacuum. We should do the old function check. Ah, look, we can see that our function vacuum is not there. That means there's a mistake in it. So let's have a look at vacuum. If there's a mistake in this function. Okay. Tag, then the entity, add vacuum. Tag, that's got to be right. Execute as any entity, type equals item, distance equals... I even said it. Distance equals... This is a very common mistake I make quite often, is leaving out that equals from the distance check. Distance equals Less than 10. There we go. Let's go back. Let's do a reload. And let's run that function again. There we go. It's come back now. Okay. Right. You there. Armistad. Ah. Oh. Well, I mean, it's collected them. They're in there. But we didn't really see them going. This was like bang, bang, bang. Oh, okay. Now this is because they're not updating their position every tick. To save time and processing power, Minecraft is just saying you don't need to update your position all the time. Every now and then's fine. I mean, items aren't really supposed to slide around the floor being weird, so they don't have to update their position. But we're going to use the little air tag trick to force them to update themselves. So basically, all I'm going to do is fiddle with its air tag, and that will force it to update. So we'll do an execute. Brain is frozen on how to do this. So we want to store the result into an entity. It will be add s into your air tag, which is a short, I believe, and we'll say -1. And we want to run data get at s your air tag. That should force it to update its position. Unless we've made a spelling mistake there. Execute store result entity s short -1. Yep, that should do it. Let's see if we've got a difference in how it works though. Do the function. We've killed it. We've killed vacuum item. Execute store result. Execute store result into an entity at s air as a short -1. Oh, run data. Where do you want to get the data from? Do you want to get the data from a block? Do you want to get it from an entity? We want to get it from an entity. There we go. Let's go back. Let's do a reload. Can you collect them now, please? Ah, now we see them all. Now we see them all slowly going in there. They're a bit janky. Yeah. Oh, that was a bit smooth. Hey. Oh, you bounced off. You going to go in? There we go. You went in the end. Okay, so we've got an item hopper. Now, if I'm holding this in my offhand, they're confused. What they're doing is they're facing the arm stand and teleporting to the arm stand. And I think then they're facing me and teleporting to me. If I take that off, whoop, off they go. There we are. Okay, that's all right. Happy with that. What else can we change just for a bit of fun? I don't know why I went there. Let's have a look at the difference if we do, instead of facing the feet, we will face the eyes. You'll see the difference. Literally, what you expect. Instead of going for the feet there, we're going to be going for the eyes. Now, Armour doesn't have eyes, but technically they do. If we do F3B, there we go. That blue line, that's where your eyes are. There. Okay. So now if we throw some, you'll see that if we do a reload, excuse me, if we do a reload, whoop, oh, is the hopper going to get them? They're quite low. Oh, hopper just got those ones. Can we throw them high enough? Yeah, okay, too high. Hopper's not getting them. That's why we did feet. Let's go back. Change that back to feet before I save the Datapack and upload it. And if I do a reload, they should whoosh down to his feet and the hopper will collect them. There we go. So we can now throw a load of items around. And then, yeah, yum. Cool. Job done. I thought this was interesting. I don't know how good it is for performance. We're doing quite a bit of item checking. Obviously, for in the demonstration purposes, I don't really have that many items. But I could imagine if you had loads of TNT going or something, blowing stuff up, that's going to create more items. And because there isn't an @I to check items, we are at E. So we're checking all entities. Every single entity. Is that entity on this list? If it is, so how good it is for performance, I don't know. I'll tell you what, if you're making an adventure map or a minigame map, I don't think you'll have any problems at all using something like this. No problem. Be absolutely fine. I think your problem might come is if you were going to stick it on a server and you had a load of players. And even then, to be honest, unless you've got lots of other stuff running, I don't think it's going to be much of a problem. I mean, people are always, oh no, we must optimize. Don't do this, don't do that. A lot of it, you know, if you're just going to be running your thing, a lot of it doesn't matter. But you do have to remember that some people are going to have rubbish computers. Again, if they're playing on a server, then it's the server that's the problem, you know. So if you've got a really powerful computer running the server, then it doesn't really matter how bad the person who's playing's computer is, I suppose, because they're just going to get information sent from the server. If you're running a map, there's usually only one or a few players. Not a problem. On the other hand, if you're running loads of stuff, then this isn't going to help. Really, to be honest. Oh, quick sip of my drink. So, when it comes to optimization, yeah, you have to keep it in mind. And I think the thing you really need to remember is don't data check stuff. Now I say that, and look what we've done. Data get. We are getting data from an item. So, well, we have gated it behind the fact that there has to be an entity in loaded chunks who is holding a vacuum item. And if they are, then there has to be an item within a distance of 10 of that player. And then if there is, then. So, I mean, it's gated behind a couple of things, and we're only data checking an item. If you're really worried about optimization, I think the golden rule is never data check the player. Don't get the data from the player. Although sometimes you just can't avoid it. Anyway, that's not this tutorial. We have other tutorials on that sort of thing. This tutorial is throwing items at my armor stand, and he is going to suck them all up. What happens if I throw them all out at once? I suppose it'll just go as a whole group, won't it? Look, no, just goes as a whole group. Oh, bounced off. That's interesting. I wonder how it bounces off. You don't have to watch anymore. I mean, we're finished. I am just waffling. But isn't it interesting? Let's throw a load. Isn't it interesting that some of them actually bounce and start going back again? Which I wouldn't think they would be able to do, because you would expect, okay, I'm stuck underneath, but I'm still looking at the nearest entity who is holding the vacuum item, and I'm still being teleported towards him. But at this bouncing back mechanism seems to be, I don't know, is it hard coded in? They didn't have any problems at all, did they? Right, look at that one. Look, bounced right off and went right out. I wonder what that is. Anyway, if you know what that is, I'd be interested in knowing. It seems strange. I would expect them just to get stuck underneath and keep trying to go towards the armor stand rather than actually bounce back. Anyway, there's a bit of waffling for you. Have a great day. Take care. And I'll see you soon. Hey, and if you're interested in the Dataland series, server will be opening in the next... I'm hoping before this weekend. This weekend is my deadline, so it's got to be done before then. Just in case any of you have got time at the weekends, I want it up and running before then. I'm hoping it's going to be in the next couple of days, to be honest. Anyway, enjoy yourselves. Take care. I'll see you all soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.